Welcome to the Laramie City Council regular meeting, Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. And if you'd like, join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk, if you can please call the roll.
Bowling.
Here.
Breed.
Here.
Lockhart, absent. Newman.
Here.
O'Doherty.
Here.
Shumway.
Here.
Behill.
Here.
Richardson.
Here.
And Cumbie.
Here.
That's 8 present and 1 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. Next, we will go to public comment on non-agenda items. Is there any public comment on non-agenda items? Yes, sir. Samuel Buck, if you would like to come up to the podium and make comment. You have 3 minutes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I've been down here a few times with the issues with Laramie PD. My house getting burnt down, nothing being done about it. I just went down and talked with the DA's office because I don't get callbacks. I finally got a letter in my mail saying they can't do nothing because they don't have enough evidence. Apparently, Laramie PD has not sent all the call logs, all the recordings from the threats to my house, to me and my family, all the video of my property being damaged, vandalism to the house, to my truck, and everything else. And this is getting old. I mean, it's like I'm going in circles here. I'm lost over $40,000 in my house. I am now over $10,000 in the freaking hole because of health issues. I mean, I'm continuing to go in a hole because of health and not being able to pay everything else up. I mean, if they don't have enough evidence because the Laramie PD doesn't send the reports over from every time I've had to call for vandalism, threats towards the house, the recordings of the threats made by Gabriel Hamilton and Levi Westman, Amy Hamilton, towards my house. If that ain't enough evidence with a video of Levi Westman walking away from my house.
Point of order, Mayor, sorry.
Please do not use names.
Yeah, if that's not enough video, either the county attorney's not getting all the information or Laramie PD is dropping the ball. They're not keeping the records of every time I've had to call them before my house was burnt down. I mean, this is getting old. I'm going further and further in the hole, trying to take care of my health, trying to take care of the house, pay off stuff that I'm still trying to pay off of in my old house. I mean, something's got to be done. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I get a ticket from Laramie PD for asking somebody for their phone, but when they got video recordings of a gentleman leaving my house the night it burnt down, the video logs and audio recordings from my security camera on the house of the threats being made towards my house, and nobody got cited for it. But I can get a citation for asking for a cell phone that was stolen from my niece. I mean, the corruption in this city police department or whatever needs to get dealt with.
Mr. Buck, I appreciate your comments, and I might suggest that you recontact victims assistance through the county attorney's office and compare their log of evidence with what you have.
They're telling me I cannot get that. I was down there actually yesterday afternoon.
Well,
and
we'll try to see what we can find out about this. Thank you very much for your comments. Are there any other further public comment on non-agenda items? Next, consideration of changes in the agenda. Is there any public request to remove a consent agenda item and place it on the regular agenda? Seeing none, Vice Mayor, if you can make a motion to set the agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the agenda be set as submitted.
Second. I have a motion from Richardson, second from Hill. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Next, we'll go on to announcements. And I have a brief announcement to make on our consent agenda. Item 9G, I would just like to announce that we are appointing Kendra Bull to the Planning Commission, and we thank Ms. Bull for her willingness to serve the city. City Manager, you had an announcement?
Honorable Mayor, we have two announcements. The first one's going to be by Senior Accountant Spencer Katuri, and the second one will be by me.
Good evening.
Good evening. I just have two brief updates today. Oh, thank you, Nancy. From finance, I just wanted to bring your attention to the community financial report, which was published earlier this week. And I would highly encourage you to check that out. It provides a summary of audited financial information that you'd find in that big annual financial report. So it can be a little more digestible. I also wanted to highlight a brand new feature that we have on the city's Open Finance Transparency website. We have rolled out a feature that we're calling the checkbook. The checkbook contains information about, well, it contains a lot of the kind of information that you'd find in a checkbook. It has every payment that the city issues to an external vendor, the amount, who we're paying, and what it's for. So you can view that in list form, and it's super configurable. You can sort things, you can filter things. There's really a wealth of information there. So I would encourage you all to check it out, cityoflaramie.org/openfinance, checkbook in the upper right-hand corner. And if you have any questions at all or any suggestions, please do reach out to us. We're super excited about continuing to improve the website there and making it the best that it can be. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And we appreciate all the work you all are doing toward public engagement. Thank you. City Manager.
Honorable Mayor and Councilors, this is just a chance to remind everybody about the Forge Exchange, which is the open area down in downtown Laramie that's helping us shape our comprehensive plan. It states, shape the future of Laramie with us. Now open. Their hours are Wednesdays from 10 to 1, Thursdays from 2 to 5, and Fridays from 8 to 11. The first exhibit, which ends, I believe, on Friday, is on economic development. The second exhibit, which picks up the following Monday and goes through March 6th, is on housing. And then the third exhibit is on downtown from March 11th to March 27th, and that's at 103 East Grand. Again, Wednesdays from 10 to 1, Thursdays from 2 to 5, and Fridays from 8 to 11. I actually had a chance to visit it the other day. It's extremely interactive, and it's important that everybody gets down there and helps shape Laramie's future for the comprehensive plan. So thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Councilors, are there any disclosures and or conflicts of interest? All right. Seeing none, Vice Mayor, motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the consent agenda be approved and that each specific action on the consent agenda be approved as indicated.
Second.
I have a motion by Richardson, second by Shumway. If you can call the roll, please.
Bowling,
Aye.
Lockhart, absent. O'Doherty,
Yes.
Shumway,
Yes.
Freed,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Richardson,
Yes.
Cumbie.
Yes.
That's 8 yeses, 0 nos, and 1 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. Now we'll move on to regular agenda. Item 11, Vice Mayor Richardson.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me turn on my microphone. I move to award the bid for the 2026 street rehabilitation project to Knife River Corporation in the amount of $8,023,669, plus a contingency of $1,500,000, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign.
Second.
Motion from Richardson, second from Newman. Good evening, Director Webb.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. So as part of your supplemental budget last year, City Council committed reserves to improve pavement conditions across the city. On November 18th, 2025, City Council approved Resolution 2025-92, creating the 2026 Street Rehabilitation Project. This resolution also transferred funds from committed reserves for the project. The goal of this project is to improve pavement conditions on some of our busiest streets across town. The project includes approximately 9 lane miles of mill and overlay with associated curb and gutter work, spot base repair and improvements to 123 ADA ramps. The list of the streets are in your packet. Bids were solicited and opened by the city clerk on January 13th. We received one bid from Knife River, local group. They're the same folks that did 3rd Street this last summer. After reviewing the bid documents, staff recommends Knife River be awarded the contract for the project. This project is required to be substantially complete by October 31st and final completion by December 11th, 2026. Take any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Director. Councilors, questions? Councilor Freed.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Director Webb. Just curious, and I see those priorities 1 through 11 for those street sections. Typically, do they accomplish one, move to the second, move to the third, or can they be working on these, as they at the same time?
Yeah, Mayor, through you, after award, our project managers are in the engineering department will sit down with the contractor, and they'll go through a scheduling and a phasing and what that's going to look like. It's not they won't necessarily go in this order as they do it. Eric and I were actually, the city engineer and I were just talking about future press releases and how we get that information out. And so once we get that nailed down with the contractor, we'll get some information out to the public.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Richardson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Director Webb. This is more of kind of a reminder question. So we're approving the 9.5 million tonight, which means we'll have about 4 million remaining. Will that go to additional projects this year, or can that carry over into next year's budget? What does that typically do?
Yeah, Mayor, through you. First, I'll just say, we originally estimated this project to be at $14 million. I think is what we really saw here on this was that economy of scale. And that really bought down our pricing. We were super, super happy with what we saw. Secondly, I also want to, again, throw kudos out to our engineering department who did all the in-house design on this. We'll be back here in the near future also with a contract much smaller than this for some CMCA on this project. This is big enough that we can't handle all that CMCA and that inspection in-house, so we'll be working with a contractor to do that. So there'll be a little more funds there. And then the remaining funds, I believe you will be looking at that through your budget process and what we want to do with that, what you want to do with that. Is that correct, City Manager? Yes. Is that the idea? Yeah.
Director, could you name CMCA?
Yeah.
That's an acronym for?
Yeah, construction management or construction administration. So it's just having, that person out there administering the contract, making sure the work's being done, the on-site inspection, helping with the paperwork and things like that.
Thank you very much for that clarification. Further questions? Councilor O'Doherty?
This priority list it's based on the street, right? Not the sidewalks. It's the street, the priority for the streets based on the index and.
Yeah, Mayor, through you, we went through a whole process when we put this together.
The first thing we did was, we went to our street division manager and said, what streets do you have to maintain the most? What needs the work, right? And he provided a list for our engineers. Our engineers looked at those streets. They ran it through our PCI model, see what came out. We put some parameters in there. We wanted to look at the heavier travel streets, the collectors and arterials, the bigger streets, because we wanted most of the work to go to benefit the most of the people. Those are the busiest roads, right? They actually went out and walked all those roads and looked at the curb and gutter and the ADA to really see, is what we didn't want to do was pick a street that the entire block needed new sidewalk and curb and gutter and eat up all that money that really you wanted for street rehab, right? But there is absolutely some curb and gutter that's going to be spot repaired as we go through to make sure that the water flows and the drainage goes. And then as far as the ADA, we're required through Department of Justice to improve those ADAs as we come through with new asphalt.
Thank you. Further questions? Thank you, Director. Is there any, follow up?
I just wanted a reminder of PCI, what that stands for, pavement
Condition Index.
Condition Index. Okay.
Sorry, lots of acronyms.
Thank you. All right. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Seeing none, back to council for comment. Any comments, councilors? Councilor O'Doherty.
I just want to thank the engineering staff for doing the work on this. It's pretty exciting. So thank you.
Further comment? I chime in, engineering staff, thank you very much. I know that was a heavy lift. I appreciate it. City Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
Lockhart, absent. Freed.
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Behill.
Yes.
Bowling.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Richardson.
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
That's 8 yeses, 0 nos, and 1 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. That motion passes. Item 12, Councilor O'Doherty.
I move that the Laramie City Council approve original ordinance number 2116 on third and final reading, amending Laramie Municipal Code Title 13, Division 7, Chapter 13.80, related to surface water drainage, and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign.
Second.
I have a motion from O'Doherty, second from Richardson. Good evening, Director Webb.
Yeah, Mayor, Council. So third reading on the stormwater. Quick recap. The big item in here is the caps on the billing units. Sets the non-residential rate no higher than $200 and some change, and residential at $30 and some change. As you can recall, with the caps, we've removed the credit program. There's a lot of language in there we talked about the condominiums and how we build those. Through first reading, there were no changes. Second reading, we had some verbiage changes, if you will. Three different changes there. For tonight, I am requesting an amendment to, and I'll walk you through this because I don't want to confuse people too much, but on page 5, section 13.80.070, A2 says the property is exempt under 13.80.020B. When we made those changes to the condominium section, it shifted that B section to D. So the amendment we're recommending is to change that, basically move to amend that section to property being exempt under that section D.
Councilor O'Doherty, you have an amendment.
I move to amend section 13.80.070.A.2 to read, quote, the property is exempt under 13.80.020.D, end quote.
Second.
I have a motion from Doherty, second from Richardson. Is there any question on the amendment? Seeing none, is there any public comment on the amendment? Back to council. Any comment on the amendment? City Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
Reed,
Aye.
Bowling,
Yes.
Lockhart, absent Newman,
Yes.
O'Doherty,
Yes.
Shumway,
Yes.
Behill,
Aye.
Richardson,
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
That's 8 yeses, 0 nos, and 1 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. That motion passes. Now we're back to the item on the agenda. Councilors, do you have any questions for Director Webb? Councilor O'Doherty.
I believe that Councillor Newman had a question about the, do you want me
Or
to?
is it a comment?
That was a question. Okay.
Vice Mayor.
I've got a comment. I know that we received emails about perhaps putting a kind of a base, while we have a cap for the top, to have kind of a cap for the bottom section of folks. And in thinking about that, I did really consider it, thinking like, yeah, you know what, we have a cap for the top, why wouldn't we do something similar for the base? And in looking at it, Director Webb was kind enough to pull some numbers and shared that if we were to kind of exempt those folks who were between 500 and 1,000 square feet, it would be 55 properties, 22 of which would be at that bottom threshold. They'd be paying $1.69 per month, and the other 33 would be paying
$34.
Thank you. What's my math?
334.
Thank you. Double that per month. And so I was mulling that over, and then was reminded that we created the low-income utility assistance program last year. And so that if someone were in that situation where they were low income, they lived in that small of a unit, they could apply for that. And if I remember correctly, Director Webb also ran these numbers. If they were in that second group who were being charged the 1,000 square foot and took us up on that utility assistance, they would be paying 14 cents a month.
That's correct.
And so from my perspective, that feels very reasonable and like a really good solution, and will hopefully encourage people to utilize that assistance for all of their utilities. So I am not inclined to implement a floor.
Councilor Newman.
Ditto. That was that's the as Councilor Doherty said, I was going to make a comment. However, the Vice Mayor had the stats and I did not, so that would have been my comment as well.
Thank you. Councilor Bowling.
Thank you, Mayor, and ditto as well. I think what is wonderful about the fact that we've implemented the low income assistance program is that not only is it's such a small number of people that it is actually less lift on city staff to maybe even reach out to those community members directly, which also then allows more people to understand that we have this assistance available, which is something that we've struggled with in the past. So I think it's a win-win on both sides there. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Further questions? And I have allowed comments, so either one. All right. Thank you, Director. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Yes, City Clerk.
Mayor, we do have a hand raised from Brett Glass online.
Okay.
Honorable Mayor and members of council, I don't know if you probably can't see me, but I'm hoping that you can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but council rules require you to be on camera, please.
I am trying.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think maybe this will work. Okay, good.
It works wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Glass. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. I am one of the people who proposed that there be I guess what you would call a deductible at the for the fee. But what I wasn't proposing was that this be limited to people whose entire property was say 1,000 square feet, but rather that this be a deductible for everyone, so that the portion of your property, however big your property was, that was the minimum that you needed to live, just to have a roof over your head, would be deducted from the charge that you received. I think this is important because I think it's the same principle that we have with sales taxes. We don't tax food, no matter how rich or poor the person is. I think it's very important to consider that we don't want to tax necessities. Right now, we're being nickeled and dimed to death in Laramie and in the state. And especially certain groups within our population. Renters, for example, are not going to benefit at all from the reduction in property taxes. The fee for rental licensing is being passed through to them. This fee would be passed through to them, and it's a small. Each one is a small amount, but they add up. Also, it's really, again, what we're seeing in this ordinance, the way it sits right now, is that we're giving a big benefit to the large property owners and landholders, but we're not doing anything at all from the average person. This would be something we can do for the average person. So I would like to recommend that there be an amendment before you pass this that deducts 2 building units from anybody who has a property, and by doing so, I think we can realize those goals and also just make things fairer. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Glass. Any further public comment on this agenda item? Seeing none, back to council. Any final comments, councilors? Councilor O'Doherty.
With regard to, we have a lower, if people have less than 500 square feet, then they don't get a bill. So we've already done minimum, so we have a floor. Also, as far as being nickeled and dimed to death, the city, we're the one utility and the one entity that has to keep paying rising costs, and we don't, we do it nonprofit. So your electric bill, the electric company gets to have a 10% profit, like built into their rate structure. The city does everything at a nonprofit level. So when we add fees, it's because the city needs the money to do things. We can't do things for free. And furthermore, that money that we spend on the stormwater, if you look at who that money goes to, if you look at the construction businesses, the engineering businesses, a lot of that's cycling right back into our economy. So I feel like we're on good ground. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to take a second to thank Mr. Glass for clarifying, because I misrepresented what I thought he was speaking of when he emailed us. And so thanks for that clarification, Mr. Glass.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilor Freed.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I just want to say thanks to Director Webb and the team that's been working on this thing for so long to get it to this point, and revisiting this for months at a time to try to find something that feels equitable and fair, and appreciate the public input through all this. I mean, we really have changed our approach based on the comments and the perspectives that we've heard. So I think this is a good start, and we'll see how it works. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone's input.
Thank you, Councilor. Further comments? Councilor Newman.
Man, this vote sucks for me. I'm not gonna lie, because I've been voting no for so long. However, I was sitting in a meeting the other day, talking about this fee and why we needed it, right? And I think during that time, I went home and was talking to my wife, and she's like, "It sounds like you kind of support this now," and I'm like, "Well, I kind of do actually. Now that I think about it, right?" And I think what decided it for me is doing the same thing that we've been doing hasn't been working, which was nothing, right? With trying to see if we can come up with extra funds for this. I also think the public engagement, like, we listened. They wanted a cap. The cap that we chose is a number that was given in the audience, right? And so for the first time ever, I'm going to vote yes on this.
Thank you, Counselor. Further comment? I just want to thank Public Works, the city manager's office, the finance office, and the city attorney's office, and all of the people that have worked on this project to get us to the point of this vote right now. Thank you so much. City Clerk, if you can please call the roll.
Like, where do I start this time? Shumway,
Yes.
Behill,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Lockhart, absent, Bowling,
Aye.
Freed,
Yes.
O'Doherty,
Yes.
Richardson,
Aye.
Cumby.
Yes,
That's 8 yeses, 0 nos, and 1 absent, Your Honor.
that motion passes. Thank you very much. And now on to item 13, Counselor Freed.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the City Council approve Resolution 2026-16, amending the appropriations for fiscal year 2025-26 in the amount of $500,000 to fund the needed replacement of the Ice and Event Center chiller and compressors, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign.
Second.
I'm going to call that for Newman. So I have a motion from Freed, second from Newman. Good evening, Director Bork.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council. Thanks for fighting over that second. Before you today is a resolution that I don't necessarily like bringing to you, but I feel is very necessary. It's been something that's on my radar since I got here, and I know has been on the radar even before that, but I think the time to act has come to replace the chiller and ice making equipment for the Ice and Event Center. I was interested to learn that the chiller that is currently in the Ice and Event Center is the same chiller that fed the ice making equipment at Undine Park many years ago. So it has had a long run, but it is having problems. And this season in particular, we were even concerned that we were going to get the ice made in time. We had to replace several contactors, which I'll be honest, I don't even know exactly what that is, but I just know they were very expensive. Some sensors, and just generally it's struggling. And what I'm trying to do is not be Chicken Little, but recognize that we're coming on an imminent time. In addition to that, I did bring your attention to this chiller is a R22 chiller unit, which, as I provided a little bit of history that I was interested to know, I knew that it had gone away, but I wasn't aware that in 2020, the U.S. banned all production and import of R22, and it's for good reason. It's a chemical that has been shown to deplete the ozone layer and cause all kinds of other issues. And unfortunately, our system is leaking R22. We think that most of it is actually evaporating, so not necessarily leaking, but we don't actually know. We just know that we've had to put 30 pounds in last year, 48 pounds this year. We anticipate that would continue going, and it's very hard to obtain new R22 because of those restrictions. So we are requesting a $500,000 amendment to begin the work and get out to bid to replace both the chiller and compressors, so that we have a new, hopefully much more energy efficient, easier to maintain, and modern chiller system. I will put the caveat, as I put in the summary, that those are estimates. This includes both the purchase of the chiller and compressors, but it's also the demolition of the old system and then the installation of the new system. Nobody was willing to give us hard quotes at this point until we were able to move forward in a bid process. So we anticipate that this is going to be a good amount. We also hope, and I hate using that word hope, that timing is favorable. We've had some fairly wild swings of estimates of lead time, anywhere from 6 weeks all the way out to 30 weeks for getting the new equipment. We hope it's on the much shorter end so that we don't impact the next hockey season and figure skating and public ice season. But I am fully aware that there is that possibility. We will make sure that we communicate and work with our public and our heavy user load to let them know if we think that that's going to happen. But right now we're moving forward on the plan that we would get the equipment purchased, get an installer, and have everything ready to go by next ice season. So with that, if you have any questions.
Thank you. Councillor Vigil?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just curious, why between 6 and 30 weeks? That's wild. Is that just equipment these days? I don't know.
Honorable Mayor, through you, that's a very good question, and I think it just really depended on who we were talking to and the type of equipment. We reached out to several manufacturers, and so part of our bid documents, we're going to put our goal or our ideal is awarding to somebody that can make sure that they keep to our timeline.
Councillor O'Doherty?
Do I recall you saying that ice hockey, well, it seems like people are crazy about ice hockey. I mean, I know these hockey parents that drive their kids all over the region. Do I recall you saying that ice hockey is probably one of the opportunities we have for sports to bring people into town for tournaments? Like that might be one of our, I seem to recall you saying that hockey might be the way to go as opposed to outdoor field sports.
Honorable Mayor, through you to Councillor O'Doherty. Yes, I mean, our ice hockey, and I shouldn't just say ice hockey, our ice right now is in high use. If you go to pretty much any time that the building is open, whether it's for public ice, whether it's figure skating, youth, adult, men's, women's, UW club hockey, both men's and women's, it is heavily used. I do know that we are getting ready to launch our public survey, our statistically validated survey as part of our community-wide sports study. That's one of the results that we're going to be looking at is what is an investment that could be made. I do know that the existing facility right now is limited in what we can be bringing in for economic development. There's not a lot of seating, as you're aware. There's no wet locker rooms. It's just a single sheet of ice. So it does limit what we're able to bring in, and really serves the community ice well, without really a lot of room for a lot of expansion. But it is something that we are going to be looking at through the course of the sports study and bringing you back not just what the community has said, but hopefully some feasibility of what some of the economic impacts could be.
Thank you. Councillor Freed.
Thank you, Mayor. This just had me thinking, Director Bork, and thank you for bringing this to us. But, if we were able to, in the future, let's say we wanted to have a bigger ice rink and ice and event center or whatever, in theory, could we use, if we purchase something new for this chiller, that we could reuse that if it was within its lifespan in a new building, kind of like we did from Undyne to this ice and event center, correct?
Honorable Mayor, through you to Councillor Freed. Yes, in fact, when we were looking at trying to get estimates, I was even asking some of the questions, what would the cost of, say, a chiller that could support more than one sheet of ice? Unfortunately, the cost goes up significantly to $800,000-900,000, not quite double, but almost. And so we made the decision to be, responsible. Let's replace what we've currently got. But that is going to be one of my goals, is to look at, and I would fully estimate or anticipate, this is a piece of it's equipment. And so were we to look at a new facility, we would be able to definitely utilize, I mean, as long as it's within the next 20 to 30 years, which if it's not, I'm not planning on being here. Yes, that is my goal, is to make sure that we're getting, again, better, more energy efficient, a good piece of equipment that's going to work for us at this facility or a potential future facility.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a question and comments, if that's okay.
Continue.
Thank you. So I went to drop my kiddo off to ice skate the other day, and it was closed due to unforeseen circumstances, and someone said it was because the ice was melting. Was this issue?
Honorable Mayor, through you to the Vice Mayor, we think so. We're not sure. We have been getting some soft spots occasionally that's been requiring. We're not sure if it's new staff on resurfacing issues, more maintenance issues, or if it's a result of the chiller just not working as efficiently as it should be.
Okay, great. And then, well, I can save my comments until.
Good. Any further questions? Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Seeing none, back to Council. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciated in the resolution that you noted that we have 60,000 users annually. That is a huge number of people or more. Okay, using that facility. And as I was searching what in the world R22 was and seeing all the blog posts about how crazy expensive it is, like $100 to $250 a pound, and we are using right now 48 pounds. This to me makes sense. And all of the blog posts were people complaining about how they couldn't find it. So that was the additional part of it, or like Reddit posts and all that good stuff. So anyway, I appreciate y'all looking at this, and hopefully we can get it at that cost and not too crazy much more than that, because that already feels like a lot. So thanks.
Councilor Freed.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say, as someone who played college hockey in that arena and coached in that arena, that is a huge benefit to our community. And so I think trying to be smart and efficient with how we replace our equipment is something we should be looking at. And I really appreciate Director Bork bringing this to us.
Thank you. Councilor O'Doherty.
I noticed that we bought, this is a glycol-based refrigerant. Isn't that cool? So we were noticing on the finance report that there was 55-gallon drum of glycol. It's used for a bunch of things, building maintenance. So I assume it's HVAC systems and stuff. So anyway, we're happy to learn about glycol-based refrigerants. Thank you.
And I just want to say that I've received a number of contacts from individuals, parents in the community that have kids playing hockey, encouraging me to support the ice and hockey rinks. So I plan to vote for this. Any further comment? City Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Lockhart, absent. Freed.
Aye.
Bowling.
Yes.
Behill.
Aye.
Shumway.
Yes.
Richardson.
Yes.
Cumby.
Aye.
That's 8 yeses, 0 nos, and 1 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. That motion passes. And next, we'll go to public comment on non-agenda items. Is there any public comment on non-agenda items? Seeing none, return to council. Council, consideration for future council work session topics. I have one. I have been in contact with Brett Campbell, who is the Community Involvement Coordinator for the EPA stationed regionally in Denver. And you might recall that they came up and gave a report on the Neglog property, which is the abandoned property just south of the cement plant. And they gave that on a Tuesday evening when we had council. And I had communicated with him why I would be unable to attend. And his office, they have volunteered to come up and give us a presentation about the Ned Log property and the abatement plans for the upcoming plans. And they can be available on March the 24th. I've checked with city manager and our city clerk, and we would be able to do that. So I'm proposing that as a work session. Thank you very much. We have a second on that. City manager has reached out to Mr. Campbell, and we will keep you updated on that. Councilor O'Doherty.
I wonder if we could invite county commissioners.
We could. We will take that under consideration. Thank you. All right. That's it, Councilor O'Doherty.
I move we adjourn.
We are adjourned. Oops.